smokers can they get dental implants? Or is it a big no-no? So today in this exciting episode, we're going to discuss this to see if dental implants can be a good fit for smokers. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Radwa Saad. I am a practicing dentist in the state of New Jersey, and I have a dental license in the US, in Canada, as well as in Egypt. I've been doing dentistry for over 20 years. I have a master's degree in implantology, which is implant placement, as well as implant restoration from the International Congress of Oral Implantologists, which is one of the highest, really well-recognized organizations in dentistry. But did you guys know that 41% of male smokers, they lose their teeth by the age of 72, compared to 31% of female smokers that they lose their teeth by the same age as well. This is actually significant. This is 3 times more than normal process of losing a tooth by the age of 72. So with that being said, can a smoker, can they get a dental implant? Yes or no? This is the question, and follow me in this exciting episode to learn about it. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. And also, putting a code here for you guys to use. It's DENT, DENT 53, and this is for you to get a code for like a consultation, free consultation, complimentary, if you need a dental implant. My office is in New Jersey, is in Princeton, New Jersey, and if you have any dental questions, please fill them below in a comment. But first, let's talk about dental implant. What is a dental implant? So basically, it's like a tiny little root that we put in the jaw bones. And in order to do that, we have to do a lot of calculations, a lot of pre-diagnostic, basically, process. And how do we do that? First of all, we have to take very specific x-rays to check the bone density. And this is where the problem of smoking can really affect implant placement, because smoking can affect the healing. And by the healing, I mean the healing when we are placing the implant, but also it can affect the bone density. So that could be a detrimental thing when we are placing an implant in smokers. But can it be really is it a big no-no, or are there alternatives or ways around it? Let's find out. So as I said before, to place a dental implant, a small periapical, like a small x-ray that, they put it in your mouth and you took a little x-ray, is not really effective for to diagnose how we're going to put the implant, or if the bone is sufficient for that. And I'm talking by the bone, I'm talking like the length and the width of the bone. So this is very important to check. But also, something very important is to check the bone density, to check where is the area where we have good bone to be able to place the implant and ensure that there will be osseointegration. What does that mean, osseointegration? It means that, that implant, it looks like a screw, basically, with, like little threads. So we want to make sure that the bone cells get in between those threads, and basically that nice little root becomes attached completely to the bone. And how do we do that? Well, this is basically the technique. When we are putting that implant in the mouth, we have to make sure that it's going into an area where the bone is dense enough and we have good cells to be able to complete the healing process in that area. Smoking, unfortunately, can affect the bone density. So when we are checking for the measurements, we also check for the bone density. So if there is a little area with less bone density, we have to go maybe a little bit behind or a little bit more forward to see where the nice bone is. And this is where we can place the implant in that area to ensure optimal health down the line. Also, one of the other problems of smoking is the healing in general. So nicotine is one of the main ingredients of, the chemicals in the cigarettes. I'm talking about cigarettes now. So nicotine, unfortunately, it's a vasoconstrictor. What does it mean? It means that blood vessels that are going, to nurture your jawbones, your mouth, your muscles, it makes them thinner. It makes them less. So instead of basically pumping good blood and, basically affecting, ensuring that the health is good in that area. So it minimizes that. So that can affect the bone cells integrity. So the bone cells start to, okay, I'm not getting enough nutrients. I'm not really going to work well in that area. So that's the problem with nicotine. So there are other alternatives, yes. Vaping is actually a big one, and I am going to talk about this in a separate episode specifically to talk about vaping and dental implants as well, or the mouth in general, like the oral health in general, because it is it's a rising subject right now. Also, the smoking chemicals, they can affect the gums. So they can cause gum recession. So a lot of patients who are smokers, they lose their teeth faster. And why is that? Because the integrity of the gums as well. So as I said before, you're not getting enough nutrients in that area, so you are more prone to gum disease. Smokers are more prone to gum disease. And also smoking can cause dry mouth or xerostomia. And that can also put your oral health at a risk because it's basically minimizing the saliva in your mouth. And so no antibodies to fight the infection. And also the plaque and the bacteria can just literally go and stick on the two surfaces, we don't want that. So all of this can affect the integrity of the oral health. So now we spoke about why the implant placement can be at a risk with smokers, because really the higher risk of an infection. Of course, if you have diabetes too, that's not controlled, that's even a bigger problem. So all of this has to be monitored. All of that has to be adjusted prior to implant placement, which means it's not a complete no. Okay, so there is hope here, guys. First, of course, you have to check you have to do your blood work before implants are being placed. I would recommend to do that usually because I want to make sure that your red blood cells, your white blood cells are controlled. Second, we're going to take that CBCT, the three-dimensional x-ray, to make sure the bone density, we find a good spot to place an implant. And if the patient he's a smoker, I cannot quit, I cannot do anything. So we usually recommend maybe, kind of quit for a few days before and after the placement with like a very strong regimen of, after like a post-operative instructions of like strong antibiotics and all of that, because we just want to give a little boost for the bone cells to work. But it's not really a big no. So you guys have to understand that. Smoking is not a big no for implant placement. And usually when we do that, we try to submerge the implant. So which means, remember when I spoke about the height and the bone? So we need to have like good bone height and good bone thickness to begin with to ensure, okay, we're doing everything we can. And then when we are placing the implant, we try to submerge it, push it a little bit further down so the bone cells on the top, even if we lose them for some reason, at least we have the integrity of the bottom part is still intact. Okay, and this is more technical, but you guys just need to know what's going on in there. So implants are not a big no in smokers. And I'm talking about titanium implants, not the ceramic one, not the zirconia ones yet. And another episode, because somebody actually asked me specifically about that. And I know this is more for alternative dentistry. I will talk about that in a separate, that's a big subject. I will talk about that in another episode soon. But right now, yes, you can get dental implants while you are still a smoker. But of course, if you can quit or if you can minimize the amount of cigarettes you're smoking a day, that would be great, especially before and after the implant is being placed, because we are trying to give those bone cells as much nutrients as we can. I always recommend to actually get an antibiotic, a painkiller, a strong painkiller. And I tell the patients, you guys have to get some over-the-counter calcium and vitamin D, because we're just trying to give a little bit more boost to those osteoblasts, those nice little tiny bone cells that are trying to build bone and trying to get us into the osseointegration that we are, basically that's our optimal goal. also, we will not activate the implant right away. What does that mean? Okay, I'm talking now gibberish. So basically, some patients or some cases, if the bone is really good, and we also, there is like a little machine that, a little instrument that we can check the bone stability or the implant stability in the bone. In a smoker, I would not even try to put a temporary crown over the implant on the same day of the placement, because sometimes we can. If the bone is strong enough and the implant is stable on the day of actually placing it, sometimes, if it's some front tooth, we can put a little temporary and go over, like actually a temporary crown over the implant. And we just tell the patient, just be careful not to bite. But if it's a smoker, I would not even do that, because I'm just trying to minimize anything that would touch the implant. Do you understand me? So let's say it's in the front and I cannot walk without like a tooth. Of course, I understand. I would never get a flipper. And this is very important, guys. I'm talking now from an implant surgery versus implant restoration, which is very, very, like, they're different. Sometimes oral surgeon will put the implant, of course, in the optimal position, but they don't restore it. And I would never recommend a flipper on a front tooth when you get an implant. And why is that? Because a flipper, which is like a fake tooth, like a small tooth that you put it in and out, because the friction, it's not stable, it's removable. So the friction can actually put pressure on the implant, and basically the bone cells, they just don't like that, and they start to kind of shrink away. And then we end up with a big problem. The bone is not really attaching around the neck of the top part of the implant, and then the implant can fail down the line. So what are the other options really is to get, the Essex retainer, the clear plastic aligner. So that's an option. Basically, we make you one and we put a little plastic tooth in where the missing tooth is. I'm talking about the front. In the back, nobody can really see it, but in the front, of course, that's your aesthetic smile. So we can put a little tooth inside and you just walk around, you're smiling. Of course, you cannot eat with it. So this is one option. So the Essex retainer with the little plastic tooth, that's an option. Another option would be like a Maryland bridge. What is a Maryland bridge? Sometimes, or like a fake tooth, we get like a fake tooth and we put it and we kind of attach it to the two teeth on the side, basically with some like liquid resin or liquid composite, and basically it stays in place. Of course, you have to be very careful not to ever bite on that tooth until the tooth is completely fixed. So you got like your permanent tooth in there, because it can pop. And basically gonna cut your food into small pieces, chew in the back, pizza crust, popcorn, whole almonds. It's a big no. Pizza crust, I love it too, but you have to really chew in the back. Don't touch that front tooth. So these are the options, especially if we are putting implants in the aesthetic zone in the front. In the back, it's a different story. Of course, I still wouldn't recommend to have anything removable and I'm talking about a single implant. Okay, because single implant or two implants is completely different when you have like a full mouth extraction. If we're talking about we're putting like an overdenture, it's completely different. I'm talking about if you lose one or two teeth on the side or in the front, and what are the options there. Okay, because they have completely different treatment options. So we're talking about missing a tooth in the back. Sometimes, if it's not really showing, you can get away without something, for like 4 months to 6 months, it's doable. Okay, but in the front, that's a pretty big deal. So we spoke about how the smoking can affect the healing of implants and how it can affect the gum around the implants. I always tell the patients, implant, it's metal. They don't get cavities, but they can get gum disease. So that also will take us to the aftercare. You have to floss around the implants. Don't listen. I've been listening to some podcasts. Don't brush your teeth. And I'm like, what do you mean don't brush your teeth? You're telling them basically get your teeth extracted and get a denture or get implant in like an overdenture. Guys, you have to brush your teeth. You have to floss every day. Please. If you don't learn anything from this podcast, you got to brush twice a day and you have to floss every single night. And around the implant, because the implant neck is much narrower than the normal tooth, if the floss is not getting everything out, double the floss, put double layers of floss and get in there, or get a thicker floss. Some of them you can find them on Amazon. I don't want to say names, but there are like thick floss, you can find it and you can just go and clean. And when you're cleaning it, you have to wrap it around the implant and pull it through to get everything out. So this is very important, okay? Now, usually after we place the implant, we tell the patients we have to wait normally between 4 to 6 months before we can put a crown on it. In smokers, I'd rather just wait a little bit longer. I would wait between 6 to 8 months because we want to make sure that the implant is completely integrated before we start restoring it. And why is that? Because we don't want to risk the implant to fail. Okay? Now, let's say there is a lot of missing teeth. It's going to be a big, financial burden to put implants all over, especially if you're smoking and you know that there is a possibility down the line you might lose it if you're not really careful with it. So other option would be a bridge. And a bridge is basically like, we shave the tooth in front of the space, we shave the tooth behind the space, and it's a framework and it's glued on your teeth and it's fixed. It's not, it's not removable. It's fixed and it's doable. And of course you have to maintain it and clean and use, the little floss threader to clean under where the missing tooth is. Use a water flosser as well. Water flosser, guys, does not, it's not like if you use it, it doesn't mean that you cannot use a floss. I want you to use both. And this is from a person, like I've seen this with so many, the water flosser. And I'm like, it's not enough. You still have to floss between your teeth. So the plan is going to be, you're going to brush, you're going to floss really well, and then you're going to just finalize this with a nice little water flosser to flush between the teeth. Okay? Also, another option would be something removable. If, implants is not a really good option, bridge, you have a lot of missing teeth. We cannot put a bridge at this point. So a partial denture or even a denture or even an overdenture. I personally had a patient, heavy smoker, he lost the teeth, and the denture, when we had it, it was pretty loose because he lost teeth for a long time, so the bone is not there. So we ended up doing an overdenture, which is basically we put like implants, in the bone, submerge it, as I said, and then we fabricate a denture, and it's kind of still like, it clicks over it and it sits, and you're using, of course, every now and then you have to get a cleaning. Cleanings are very important, like to go to do your 6-month checkups, to do your cleanings are very important. If you're a smoker, I'd rather you go every 3 months for an extra cleaning. You're doing your 6 months, but you gotta do every 3 months an extra cleaning so that we can make sure that the implant is healing properly and, everything is in good shape. Okay? I hope you learned something today. And if you like the episode, don't forget to use the code DENT 53 to get complimentary consultation for a dental implant. Or if you have any questions, please make sure you write them down in the comments below. If you like the episode, please subscribe, share, and like. And I will see you again soon. Take care, everybody. And don't forget, if you take care of your teeth, they will take care of you. Until then, keep smiling with Dr. Saad. Have a good one, everybody.